Welcome to the Raven Space on YouTube. My name is Jason, and this is Raven Space Daily, where we talk about Baltimore Ravens news every single weekday. Thank you guys so much for joining me for the Tuesday edition of the show. We have a great show for you guys. Please subscribe to the Raven Space on YouTube if you're not yet subscribed for the best content on the internet, and a special shout out to our Patreon subscribers. Thank you guys so much. Now we're going to hop into the show, but first we're going to talk about the run defense. We're going to talk about Wallace's hit and the repercussions for that hit. We're going to talk about Joe Flacco's weapons and what John Harbaugh had to say about it. We're going to answer your guys' question from the mailbag. And last but not least, we're going to tell you guys about the comment of the day. Now, let's hit into the first topic about the run defense and the sad news. Currently, the Ravens' rush defense now ranks last in the NFL. The total defense ranks 22nd in the league. And this is just a sad story on really all fronts. A couple of shows ago, I made the comment that the Ravens defense currently, right now, is not better than the Steelers defense, and it's not better than the Bengals defense. And now the numbers have come in and proved it. The Bengals rank 18th in the league, the Ravens rank 22nd, and the Steelers rank in the top 10. So it's gonna, hey, that's what it is. The numbers don't lie. And you know, in the case of the Steelers, they play harder opponents than we do. So I don't know what to say. This defense came in talking a lot of stuff. And, you know, I think all athletes should have some swag, should have some bravado. But when you come in, especially on the defense like the Ravens historically have always had a great defense. And so when you come in saying things like Tony Jefferson said that we're going to be legendary, that Brandon Williams said, who said that we can be the best defense and even match the 2000 Ravens. When you say stuff like that and you don't back it up, it's just terrible. How can a Ravens defense be the worst rush defense in the league? Right? Man, this is a bad story, guys. This is a bad story. I'm sad. I think that we are better than this. I just think injuries have gotten the best of us. Hopefully, we can turn it around. I don't honestly think so. I think we won't be 32nd in the league when this is all said and done. But I also think we won't be top 20 in the league. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this topic. It's, I want to know. I really do. So we're going to move on to the second topic, which talks about the hit on Mike Wallace. That was a very big hit in the first drive of the game. It was Viking players Sendejo. He's suspended for 1 game for his hit, and frankly, he deserves it. Mike Wallace was getting tackled to the ground, literally tackled to the ground, and he came over the top and hit him. It's illegal, right? I mean, now back in the old NFL days, that's not a thing, right? But it's illegal now, and you gotta play by the rules. And I'm not one of these guys that wants to throw a penalty every single time. But if they would have called the Ravens for that penalty, which they would have, they need to call the Vikings for that penalty, which they did. But Mike Wallace getting hit that hard sucks because we don't have any receivers, and we're gonna talk about that the next segment. But it's getting real thin, and I'm getting real worried, to be 100% honest with you guys. So hopefully, Mike Wallace comes back. He seemed like he was ready to play, but you never know. I hope he comes back and he's healthy, and Sendejo deserved his 1-game suspension. I think 1 game is enough, because I don't think he was trying to do it on purpose. I think he's just playing football, and the Vikings are very aggressive, so that's how they play football. So we're going to move on to the next topic, which talks about the injuries. And many people, including John Harbaugh, are talking about Flacco's receiving options. If you guys, saw during the game, a lot of people were talking about, dang, Joe Flacco doesn't have the help around him anymore due to injuries. Boomer Esiason commented about it as well, saying that he felt bad for Joe Flacco. And I understand all that. Because Joe Flacco is limited. He is very limited right now. And he's limited as a player himself, and his team is also limited. right? There's only two ways on offense you can be successful. And John Harbaugh even said this. You could either have a player who is a young player or a player that's not making a lot of money, and you put pieces around him to make your team great. That's the Russell Wilson, right? You take Russell Wilson when he's young, who's good, or, you know, more recently, because now Russell Wilson's an elite quarterback, more recently, Dak Prescott, right? Dak Prescott's a good quarterback, right? But you put that offensive line and Ezekiel Elliott and Dez Bryant and the tight end who's been playing for 40 years that I can't remember, Jason Witten, and you put all these players together, and now he looks like a great quarterback. And then the other way is that you have a great quarterback who makes everybody else around him better, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, right? We understand that. Joe Flacco is not a great quarterback, and nor does he have great weapons. I'll read you guys a quote from John Harbaugh. He says, "I was out there in pregame Sunday in Minnesota. The stadium was filling up. It's a big game. There's a lot of energy. And I see old Griff Whalen warming up like, man, this guy was at Gold's Gym a couple of days ago, and here he is." You can't win games, guys, if one of your receiver who caught 4 or 5 balls was at Gold's Gym last week. So, you know, it's going to be a struggle. He doesn't have the weapons. Hopefully, the team gets better, we start progressing, and everything goes according to plan. We can dream. Now we're going to move to my favorite segment of the show, the Raven Space Mailbag, where we answer you guys' questions about the Baltimore Ravens. I know you guys are kind of disappointed that you did not get a mailbag this week. Sorry about that. I was out of town for my job that actually pays my bills, so I could not do it. However, you will have one next Monday, I promise. Also, the mailbag is sponsored by our Patreon page and our patrons. Please check out our Patreon page. It's awesome. We're going to do a lot of changes, but it's still going to be awesome. And this question comes from Chili Most 2. And Chili Most 2 asks, "You said Joe Flacco did the best he could. Could you elaborate?" So thank you so much for your question, Chili Most 2. And I can elaborate. Joe, he's doing the best he can. He doesn't have anything. Joe Flacco doesn't have the pieces that he needs. I really do think that. And if Joe could get these pieces that he needs, he could be great. The pieces around him could be great. Everybody could be great. I really do believe that. But right now, he does not have those pieces. So, I'm sorry. Thank you for asking. I know you feel like, how can he be doing the best he can? I've lowered my expectations for Joe Flacco from this season. He's not a top quarterback right now. He's much lower than that. And now we're going to move on to the Raven Space comment of the day. And it comes from you guys. If you want you guys to be the comment of the day, comment on any of our topics and put it in the comments below. And this comment comes from Cody Hawley. And he says, "I think Brandon Carr should be a winner. He played way past expectations since we signed him. A bright spot in a tough time right now." Thank you so much for your comment, Cody. And I picked it because, one, you're correct. I should have had that. My bad. You are correct. He is a winner. Two, I told you guys. You guys all thought Marlon Humphrey was going to take his spot. The boy can play. Brandon Carr has been reliable. He's been healthy. He's been doing it. And I'm proud of him because he's really getting it done. When people doubted him, he's healthy, unlike Jimmy Smith. And he can actually, you know, he plays like a pro, unlike the other corners we have right now. So he is, in my opinion, he's the best corner right now because he can play and he's healthy. So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been the episode for today. This was so fun. Please come back tomorrow for our Wednesday show, which will be a special show because it'll be a pregame show for Thursday night. There will not be a Raven Space Daily on Thursday because I'll be getting ready for the game. Thank you guys so much, and go Ravens.